find out like
Yeah,
everyone else.
Just wait and find out like everyone else. now we're streaming, by the way.
I see that because I got a notification.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Are you subscribed to us?
Yeah. My actual like non-YouTube channel account
is
a subscriber
to your YouTube channel.
to my YouTube channel account.
I think that's illegal.
It's not.
Okay, so what up, nerds?
I don't think it's illegal. Hey, nerds.
Hi, nerds.
Hi, nerds.
Don't look over there. Look there. Look at the camera.
Yeah, I'm bad at that.
You're really bad at that.
Shut up.
Right? I mean...
Hi, camera.
Yeah. Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt Molina. How you doing?
What up?
What up, nerd?
Stream.
Yep, stream. As long as we don't cross them.
Valentine's Day stream.
Valentine's Day. As I was telling Nick, somebody asked me when I posted about this in one of our local game stores community Facebooks. They said, Lester, are you saying something about your audience? And I said, nothing that can't be said about me or Nick here.
Yep. Because
obviously we're here streaming. So I'm Lester.
You guys are way cooler anyways.
Yeah, you're way cooler than us. So, I'm Lester. That's Nick. This is your mom's basement. Well, I guess it's not really your mom. You know, that's the name of the channel. And we're talking about stuff today. Woo! Thank you, Arbiter. So,
what stuff are we talking about today?
I want to talk about a little bit about the state of the game. I want to talk about house rules and beta rules. And some things that are coming. We could call our viewers basement dwellers. We could do that. And in fact, I think I do that kind of internally as a joke. Because, I don't know. I'm sitting behind so much terrain right now.
So much terrain.
An entire table's worth of terrain, and I'm sitting right behind it. So, let's see. Let's find a good place to start, though. Right? Oh, and we also have lists of the week, but I still haven't taken the time to figure out how to show those to you, so we're going to end up just talking about them.
Yeah.
Later, I'll probably make a document, or you could save it for the Patreon subscribers or something. I mean, yeah, we could do that. We could do that.
Right.
Or people who buy shirts, you know.
Yeah, true.
Put it on the back of the shirt. Basement dweller. What up, nerds? Sorry, something stinks around here. Anyways, so let's see what's a good place to start. So Nick,
yo,
I asked you a question about 20 seconds ago.
Literally,
like about what the top, if you knew what the top factions in the game are competitively.
I'm going to guess one of them is Eldar.
Okay. So I want you to, you know what? We're gonna go. So I have here.
Mm-hmm.
I have here, and this is from bloodofkittens.com. And it is the 8th edition top army list compendium. Once again, bloodofkittens.com, because I'm going to cite my sources, right? Now this list was updated on the 23rd. So it was updated, the latest update that they have there.
2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2.5 weeks ago, but before Las Vegas Open.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have mentally adjusted for Las Vegas Open. All right. And I want you to, you know, we're going to start at 5, right? Mm-hmm. Guess the number 5 faction. No.
Okay. Can I get a hint? Like, is their codex already released?
Their codex is released.
Okay. Salamanders?
It is not. It is not salamanders. Mm-hmm. Yeah, take another one.
No.
Okay. So, number 5 is Chaos Demons, actually. Yeah.
Sweet.
Right?
Right.
I mean, that sounds... So, as a point, Alderman and Drew Carey? Cleveland Rocks, I guess. So, as a note, for the qualification here, qualify lists are taken from events with at least 25 players and 5 games played. So these are pretty big events.
Yeah.
Right. And again, LVO is not on here where they had 50 players. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I've already adjusted for it. Okay, what do you think number 4 is?
Again, Codex is already released.
Codex is already released.
For all of these?
No.
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 Right? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that?
Is it another Chaos Force?
It is not another Chaos Force.
Okay. Is it Vanilla Space Marines?
No. Well, I mean, they do come from the Space Marines Codex. They are the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines are number 4. Yeah. So, Demons, by the way, have won 16 events thus far.
Yep.
Ultramarines, 17. Now, realize all of these numbers are really tight.
Yeah.
With kind of an outlier. And it's not a huge outlier. All right. So, let's go into number 3. Who do you think? Any guesses as to number 3?
Codex, released, unreleased.
Codex is released.
How recently?
I don't know.
Eldar. I'm gonna go Eldar for number 3.
It is not the Eldar.
Who is it?
It is Chaos Space Marines.
Go Chaos Space Marines. Go.
Go Chaos Space Marines. Right?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. At 20 events. Okay.
Nice.
Now, next up, this codex isn't released yet.
Ooh.
Number 2, the codex is not released yet. At 21 events.
Okay. Necrons?
It is not Necrons.
Damn.
It is not Necrons. Actually, Necrons... yeah, they didn't even make this list.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're hurting pretty bad.
Apparently. What is it? What is the number 2 army?
Inari. Which is the blend, the Eldar blend.
Yeah.
Eldar soup.
Eldar soup.
Eldar soup. All right. And that's at 21 events. And that 21st event, right? So this list here has Chaos Space Marines and Inari tied at 20, but the Inari came out on top at LVO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, so LVO had a weird thing going where there was the Inari, and Inari in the top 4, and then the 4th one was Imperium Soup. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty likely that Inari was going to win that one.
Yes, it was really likely. Inari was going to win that one. All right. Number 1. We're at number 1
Is
now.
this one the Eldar?
This one is not the Eldar.
Okay. Is it another Chaos Force?
It is not another. There's 2 Chaos Forces.
Well, there's more than
I
one.
guess, yeah. Well, there's Thousand Suns, but they also didn't make the list because their Codex wasn't out yet.
Codex has been released, I'm assuming?
Codex has been released.
I don't know.
It is the Astra Militarum with 24 events. Yeah.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
So, like, what I find interesting here in this list, right, of things, let me just pull it back up again.
Yeah.
Is how, well, like, what makes this list interesting is how, like...
Oh, Orcs came in number 6, huh?
Yeah, Orcs came in at number 6. No Codex.
Yep. Tau at 7.
Tau at 7. Again, no Codex. It's interesting the spread of non-Codex things.
Yeah.
Right? I can't wait for June to come so we can start playing 40k Age of Gazgul. Yes. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm pretty jazzed. I'm really jazzed about Necron, Tau, and Orcs, actually. Yeah. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about maybe some predictions later.
Okay.
Because I think totally just wild speculation is really fun.
It is fun.
It's very much fun. So start thinking about what you think, some things you might think that are in those codices coming up, Nick. Okay. So just while we're talking, think about it. Because I have a couple predictions, although, you only have 160 boys. Isn't that just one unit? Isn't that one unit of boys, Melina?
I don't even think that's a full unit of
boys. That's
boys.
not even a full unit. That's a min squad.
It's a minimum squad of boys.
So, anyways, that's the interesting thing. So,
you're not wagging hard enough.
You're not wagging. I mean, but he also collects Space Wolves. So,
Who collects Space Wolves?
Oh, losers. Oh, actually...
People who believe there's wolves on Fenris.
Actually, you'd keep saying... Actually, one guy who...
one guy collects Space Wolves.
I will say this, though. So the guy who took 3rd in Las Vegas Open, or at least was in the top 4, right, at LVO, his list actually contained Space Wolves. It was actually a major portion of the Force. His list was really weird. Well, no, I guess it would be weird for us, but it makes a lot of sense, and actually goes into. We're going to talk beta rules now.
Okay.
Now I actually need a thing, so I'll be right back. Before we talk,
Go get the thing.
yeah, I'm gonna get 3 things.
3.
3 things.
Count them. When he gets back, then tell him if he's wrong for some reason, because he might be. You never know.
I'm probably not wrong.
He's pretty bad at counting sometimes.
All right. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
Oh.
So
I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Why is that one not based?
Because I ran out of Valhalla and Blizzard. Yeah.
Terrible excuse.
I'm sorry. That's 30 shy of a green tide. Yeah, I mean 160 boys is still like it's a lot.
Nah.
It feels like a lot.
Nah.
Like it's not actually a lot, but
Nah.
it feels like it. Okay, so here, pointedly, this list that Arbiter and I were looking at the other day, he had 6 Thunderwolf characters in it. Okay. Yeah, you like that? You like that? Yeah, it's like I know how to paint a little bit.
No.
Oh. Anyway, so it had 6 Thunderwolf characters in it. Okay, and
that's what they do.
yeah, that's not what they do. Actually,
They just
fall over. And he also had 3 assassins.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as a note, none of these assassins were Vindicari assassins, which I have a thing about, but about being terrible.
We've gone over that.
We've gone over that. So, anyways, the thing about this list, right, was the number of characters, right? So he had like a Supreme Command detachment of Blood Angels. So he had 3 Blood Angel HQs, all jump guys.
Yeah.
Right? And then he had 2 battalions. And in those 2 battalions, one of them had all 3 of the assassins, so more characters. And then he had 3 Thunderwolf characters in each of the battalions.
Yeah.
Right? And then the troops choices from those battalions were actually Astra Militarum infantry squads.
Interesting. How big were they?
Well, they're just normal sized.
Right.
They're infantry. They were infantry, not conscripts. So
Right.
they were 10 men, and then a mortar team. Right. And he had 6 of those, and then the 3 characters, and then 3 more characters, and then 3 more characters. All right, and this brings us to a beta rule. So currently, the character rule. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up right here because I am prepared-ish. Okay, so currently, the character... And they released these beta rules back when they released Chapter Approved. And I want to bring them up now because a bunch of the stuff that has carried over from Chapter Approved, I've discovered earlier this week when I went to go play at our local store, our local Warhammer store, Warhammer High Point. There's a plug because they let me put links on their Facebook. So
Gotta make sure.
Hey, I'll plug you. You let me plug me. I'll plug you. That sounds so bad.
It does sound a little bad.
Anyways, so the current character rule makes it so that, and this is probably a good reason to use Thunderwolves, right? So an enemy character with a wounds characteristic of less than 10, any one of these 3, if they are a character, has that, can only be chosen as a target in the shooting phase if it is both visible to the firing unit and is the closest. All right. So if you have characters with varying speeds, or not with varying speeds, with similar speeds, or the same speed, or, as in the case of the assassins, can deep strike.
Right.
You can use them to block off other characters from shooting.
Right.
Right? So, let's say I have this guy here, and I picked up a Primaris captain for this demonstration. This isn't, he will just fit here, right? So let's say he's out there, he gets a little shot up. He's at 1 wound, right? Yeah. I want him alive for something, right? He gets an order, he does something that I want. Or he's going to chop something up for me.
Right.
We get into melee. But I think you're probably going to get another turn of shooting on him. I just moved this guy up. Right? So if your guys are in this cover here, now they can't shoot him.
Right.
Right? Or if he's really in trouble, or this guy's off somewhere else, right? Deep striking an assassin right there. Right? And specifically in this beta rule, right, they mentioned the Culexus Assassin. Right. And the Culexus Assassin is really interesting for this because when you attack the Culexus Assassin, all of your attacks, whether it's shooting or melee, are resolved at 6 up. So, if your dudes are body blocked by a Culexus Assassin, they're probably not going to kill him.
Right.
Meaning then it's Thunderwolf time, homie.
Yeah.
And that's bad news.
That is not good.
Right.
That's a dead squad of dudes.
Right, and that's after they get hit with like some mortars too, right? Mortars, then like it's rad. It's really rad. So this beta rule, is that it makes it so that you would not be able to target a character you would be able to target a character if the only thing that's blocking it is another character.
Gotcha.
And I know it's kind of late coming to start talking about that.
Right.
But I just thought it was interesting after doing some looking at these lists, right? I also took a look at the winning Inari list, but I didn't understand it. There's a lot of Dark Reapers on there, though, and apparently that was a big thing. I was looking at Bell of Lost Souls, and there was a lot of whining down in the comments about it. But you go to some internet forums, that's just what you're gonna get. And then the next beta rule, which will probably ties into Thousand Suns, and also this running comment that I have on the state of the game and the game space and design space. So psychic powers, currently with the exception of Smite, each psychic power can be attempted only once per turn, rather than once per turn per psyker. Mm-hmm. Right? So, if you have 5 psychers that all have warp time, only one of them can cast it in a turn. Right. The others are going to have...
Now, is that attempt to cast it or cast it?
Attempt it.
Okay.
Attempt. So, if you roll it and fail, that was your one shot. Right. Do not miss your chance to blow, because that opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
That's a copyright infringement there, buddy. Too bad.
Yeah, we're so small.
Deal with it.
Deal with it, Eminem.
Now you're calling Eminem out.
At me. If I die, burn all my stuff. So. Fuck no, it's mine. So, the beta rule for psychic powers has, with the exception of Smite, each psychic power can only be cast or attempted once per turn, as opposed to once per psyker per turn.
Boo.
That's literally the same up until here. But in addition, subtract 1 from the result of any psychic test taken when attempting to manifest Smite for each other attempt that has been made to manifest Smite during the psychic phase. So, after your first one, you start doing -1s.
Right.
And I just think that's really interesting.
That is interesting, but I'm still, like... I'm the guy that likes to play with a lot of psychers.
I mean...
And...
I didn't know. I had no idea you liked to play with a lot of psychers.
So what's funny is I have a list. My list of the week is actually kind of revolves around being able to cast multiples of the same power. So
whoops.
Sometimes, like it does. It's not a necessity, but like
unfortunately,
and it can be changed.
Unfortunately, I mean, yeah, but unfortunately, that is the rules of the game.
Right.
Right.
Screw your rules
of the
the game.
How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you write rules that weaken my plans?
I mean, come up with better plans.
Just cast warp time on all of my Zangors.
I mean, that's a good plan. Unfortunately, it doesn't work because you can only cast warp time once. But hey,
attempt to cast warp time once. Yeah. That's the important part there.
I mean, yeah.
Luckily, I've got ways around that.
Ooh.
Well, not ways around that rule, but ways to ensure that warp time actually gets cast.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's an interesting. I don't know. I just think I think it's interesting watching Games Workshop like develop things to make smite spam happen, and then go, oh boy, wait, hold up, we gotta stop smite spam. We gotta stop smite spam.
Smite spam's real bad.
It's a real problem.
Real bad. Luckily, as a Thousand Suns player, you've got ways around the negatives for smite spamming too.
Yeah.
Most forces, I would imagine.
Basically, the big thing is you're gonna have to start casting your smites, as you were saying to me before when we were talking about this.
In a specific order.
Yeah, and casting them with your more powerful psychers. Casting them later.
Yeah.
With a little bit of irony, but hey. Making you make strategic choices is literally the name of the game. Actually, the name of the game is Warhammer 40k, but it's all about making strategic and tactical choices.
It is?
Yeah. It's actually, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wow. I've been doing it wrong for a long time.
Yeah, for a really long time. Anyways. So, another rule that kind of came out of Chapter Approved, actually this one came directly out of Chapter Approved, and I kind of wanted to talk about it because I also wanted, and it's technically a house rule, hence the house rules we're talking about, but, so, sorry, Wolf Lord didn't grab his armor.
I'm not sorry.
Oh, okay. Jerk. So, the way turn one happens, right? How to determine who gets first turn changed in Chapter Approved.
Yeah.
Right. So in the base book, it's just whoever finishes deploying first gets the first turn in all of those scenarios.
Right.
Okay. So, but then in Chapter Approved, you do a roll off, right? Mm-hmm. Just roll a d6. But whoever rolled or whoever finished deploying first, instead of straight going first immediately, actually just gets a +1 on that roll.
Okay.
Now, again, went to play in our local escalation league, and we're playing like a regular game out of the book, out of the base book. It was Contact Lost, if I remember correctly. I do remember correctly. It was Contact Lost. And so, when and I was not ready for Contact Lost. It was really bad. But then...
It's been thematic with you lately.
I'm just not ready for whatever scenario is coming my way. Yeah, it's really bad. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Oh, you go find out Friday in the next bat route.
It's gonna be fun.
It's a good one.
It is. It's short but sweet.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. So my opponent and I agreed to play it with first turn, doing it in the way that Chapter Approved does it.
Right.
Okay. So I lost the initiative, and things got real bad real fast.
Were you playing Soup or were you playing Space Wolves?
I was playing straight Space Wolves.
Okay. What was your opponent playing?
Tyranids. So the funny thing that had happened...
Not going first against Tyranids is never good.
Yeah, what's funny is I went there and I discovered, oh my god, we're not playing Contact. We're not playing Relic, which is the scenario I thought we were going to play, where I was like, oh snap, we're playing Contact Lost. Oh no, okay, hold up. Let's think about this, right? Because I was too far away to go change my list and go home and get models and come back, right? And it was just, so... but I was like, okay, here's the thing. So I had set up my force like this, all right? I had a Vanguard detachment, right? Mm-hmm. It was 750 point game. I had a Vanguard detachment of 3 5-man units of Wolfguard. Mm-hmm. One of them had a power sword, right? Just sometimes you have to spend 4 points.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And then everyone had storm bolters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there was a wolf lord in there. He had the Kraken Bone Sword, right? And then a storm wolf with 2 las cannons, 2 twin multi-meltas, and the twin Hellfrost cannon. So, my plan was realize that's 16 infantrymen and a flyer.
Yeah.
That flyer has a transport capacity of 16. Okay? So my plan was put this thing down, be done with deployment.
Wow.
That's it. All right. I even got to play. My opponent was like, "So which one of us deploys first?" And I was like, "Man, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter, right?" But anyways, so I'm thinking to myself, okay,
what a jerk thing to do.
I was like, okay, all right, and it's a 750 point game, so we're playing on a 4x4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna put this thing in the backmost corner of my deployment zone and be done. Right? Then from there, it can hit anywhere on the table. Space Wolf A-Team.
Which one gets to be Mr. T?
The one with the mohawk. The joke there is that a lot of Space Wolf models have mohawks. That's the joke. So the hilarious thing about that was I was like, okay. And I said to myself, it'll be okay. Right? Like, because it's like, okay, this is a tactical objectives thing, but if I can get in there, right, I can place this thing literally anywhere on the table. Right?
Yep.
As long as I have turn 1.
Yeah.
Okay? It's got maximum 50-inch movement.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in the corner, facing the other corner, all I have to do is move it, like, wherever I think something important is, and blow the living hell out of it. Right? Because not much survives 2 twin multi-meltas, a las cannon, and a twin Hellfrost cannon.
No.
Right?
Not much.
Not much. Okay? And my plan was, if I see one thing that can hurt the Storm Wolf, I'm going to go and I'm going to blow it up. And this is so low points, right? That there's probably not going to be much that can hurt the Storm Wolf, right? Mm-hmm. Besides Psychers, but they're going to hurt it on a D3. It's got a whole mess of wounds. It'll be fine.
You know what else hurts flyers really well? D-sides.
Yeah, well, yes, but again, if I go first, that thing's going to get hit by the Storm Wolf, right? That's the
true,
right. So
that makes it dead.
But we'll get into that later.
Okay.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the difference is I have like the ability to say, oh, this will be how I would take care of that problem.
Yeah.
And it's just basically a whole bunch of Wraithguard with D sides.
Yeah.
And then one.
Right. Yeah. Again, 750 point game.
Yeah.
I'm estimating that Stormwolf can push around most things at that point level.
Yeah.
It just can, right? So I said to myself, okay, the situation is still fine. I can still have my game plan, right? And my game plan is I'm just not worrying about the tactical objectives. I'm gonna try and table my opponent, right? And I have the means to do it here.
Right.
Okay. Tanks are gonna get blown up. Other flyers gonna get blown up. Infantry. I don't know if you've seen what happens to infantry usually when they get when they get 15 storm bolters shot at them and then they get charged by space wolves, but it's not good. Right? So it's
I haven't seen that.
So it's all gonna be fine, I say to myself, as long as two things happen. One, I get turn 1, and 2, I'm not playing Tyranids. So I get called to my table with my opponent. We've been hanging out a little bit, but we hadn't talked about what we were playing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Oh, who's deploying first?" I was like, "Man, it's not gonna matter, right?"
Right.
I put that down, right, but then we both agreed to play it on the die roll.
Because it's more fair for him.
Right. I mean, he doesn't know
Right.
He hasn't even looked in my box yet, right?
Right.
Like I haven't even opened up my box to show like, hey, here's my Stormwolf, and 16 guys,
Yeah.
right? But so I discovered that I'm deploying first, and I put down the Stormwolf, and I'm like, bam, there's the Stormwolf. Everybody's in there. I'm done deploying. What are you playing, dude? And he's like, Tyranids. Okay, we're fine. We're okay. Okay, we're not okay. It's not okay. All right, roll off. We're gonna roll off. I have turn 2.
Press F to pay respects.
Press F to exactly. All right. So then he gets turn 1. He deep strikes his Flyrant, right? And I'm like, oh my god, things are so bad. Things are so bad, right? He deep strikes his Flyrant right there. It's 9 inches away. Well, more than 9 inches. Ooh.
Amazing.
And he's like, all right, I'm gonna charge. And I'm like, okay,
No.
I have so much Overwatch here. Okay, something's got to get through. I proceed to roll 3s, 4s, and 5s. I fired my when I fired my both twin multi-meltos, there were 3 5s.
Okay.
So it got into melee with the Stormwolf and fucking brought it down to 3 wounds, and I lost the game miserably. But anyways, besides all that, I still think
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that because I just hate that thing
the
so much.
What? Why? Well, I hate the Stormwolf. It's only amazing.
It just shreds. Like the last time that I saw Stormwolf,
Yeah.
It destroyed my Helldrake, my Defiler, and my Rhino in like 2 turns.
Yeah, it does that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost did it in 1.
Yeah, it was really bad. It's really good at that.
Yeah.
It was.
I didn't like it.
I mean, either way, it was a good game, right? I don't blame my opponent at all for what happened. I came ill prepared, and it was fun. It was still fun.
Right.
And it had a lot of the hallmarks of fun games where like there was tension and stuff. Because I mean, I almost brought down the Flyrant in melee and between melee and shooting, and I brought down a Carnifex in melee with my Space Wolves. It was cool. I actually got to use True Grit, which was neat. It didn't do much, but hey, got to do it.
But hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Anyway, excuse me. So the thing about that, right, is even after that experience, I still think that I really like how Chapter Approved does turn 1.
Right.
I think the +1, although it's never worked out for me. The open war deck also does that, by the way. Dice were rolled. You both got to do the thing. Exactly. Right.
I definitely think it's more fair because, like, we talked about this briefly way back when 8th edition was first coming out.
Yep.
And, when it was just whoever deploys first goes first.
Yeah.
And there's ways where you can just build lists that you're always going to go first.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so easy. It is so easy to cram stuff into transports. Right? Like, For some armies, right? For some armies, it's really like it's so easy for me to cram stuff in a like a rhino. If I put down a rhino, that's 4 units, right? That's 5. That's 2 5-man units of infantry, a leader, and the rhino all down at once, right? And this is another really great one. So if you play a Talon Supreme Command Detachment.
Yeah.
With a Stormlord, which can fit like 60 dudes in it.
Yeah.
You can deep strike it.
Jesus.
Right? You pay 3 CP.
Right.
Right? And then it's filled to the brim with dudes, like 6 units. Yeah. Right? That can shoot out of it. But that's not the point right here. But and then have 2 more units that got placed in ambush at the same time. So that's like 9. So that is 3 CP, deploy 9 units. Okay, how much of my army is that? I don't know, about half. Right? Like
I would just.
I mean, you probably wouldn't.
No.
But still, because it's not actually tactically super great. But in this case,
right.
But the point is, it's really easy to be super janky about that, which is exactly why they wrote it like that into chapter approved.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think we've played a regular book game in a while on the channel, but I think for the future games, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it chapter approved style.
I really love just as a little tangent, real quick, the war deck.
Open war deck?
I think the open war deck is awesome.
I like it.
Yeah?
I'll say I like it. I don't know if it's awesome.
I love it.
But it's really good. It's not a thing I dislike.
Right.
And I'm not neutral on it.
Right.
It's still positive. I still have a positive opinion on it.
I think the thing is with you and I,
yeah,
we build lists still to a points level instead of a power level.
I mean, yeah.
So
But that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, for the cases of that where it's like the person with lower points gets the
lower power level gets the thing.
Lower power level gets the thing.
I mean, yeah, but
because it's possible to have lower points but a higher power level.
Yes, and it's also possible to have higher points and a lower power level.
Right, it's really possible.
Which is literally the same thing you just said, actually, just the inverse.
Yeah.
Let's turn it over. I'm sorry, I just really like this one Thunderwolf, so I'm going to keep playing with it all day. So...
It's because of the glow.
Yeah, you can't really see it on camera. Oh, you might be able to see a little bit.
I mean, not that far.
Yeah, but
it looks good.
It looks nice.
You did an okay job.
I'm okay at painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did an okay job.
I did an okay job.
Okay.
If you want to see my Thunderwolves up close, subscribe to us on Facebook. Because the channel's Facebook kind of turned into my own personal Instagram for a minute. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, ymb.lester. You
can follow me on Instagram too, but you wouldn't see too much 40K posts.
Yeah, it's all 40K for me.
It's all food for me.
Those are basically the same thing.
Basically.
Yeah. So that's really that's pretty much all the stuff I wanted to talk about, except for maybe like some predictive stuff.
Right.
But that's it, man.
Like, that's it for you?
Yeah, and I think that using the ability to change things up with house rules, right, is really good. We might even...
I'm gonna get some water real quick.
Okay. We might even think about using the beta rules in a few games. Help Games Workshop out. What do you guys... Matt Molina, what do you think about using house rules or beta rules? Like, do you have any, qualms against it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Right. Delay. I'm going to be sitting here staring at this for a while.
Staring for a minute.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick?
What do I think about what?
The beta rules.
You
still, yeah, it's true. You still haven't played a single game of 8. Why? 8th edition.
Come
so
on,
good.
man.
Get on it.
Come on.
Get on it, guy. It's okay. Oh, we understand, dude.
I don't.
I do.
I do. I understand. You got time constraints and whatnot.
Yeah.
People have lives.
What?
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah. Yes, the people who don't.
I mean, as far as the beta rules, go,
yeah.
Like I said, as somebody who uses a lot of psychers, like, I think it needs to be worded differently. I think it needs to be, each power can only be cast once per turn. It kind of sucks. Like, okay, I didn't get warp time off with a psyker. Now I just can't even attempt it again.
Okay.
Like, I think that it's if
I mean,
get
like, so that's not even the beta rule, by the way.
Right.
That's just
just the rules.
Yeah.
But I'm just like that. I think could use a little tweak.
It's worth noting that the change means that if somebody's got a thing that's like, hey, I don't want him to get warp time off.
Yeah.
Then you can't be like, warp time. Oh, you denied it. Warp time. Oh,
Yeah.
you denied it. Warp time. Okay, I finally got it.
Right.
Right? So it actually allows people to play tactically off each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he wants an army that has a legit codex. Also been playing Frostgrave. Oh, Frostgrave looks really good. And Wormahordes. That's what WM/H stands for.
Yeah.
I played a game of War Machine about a month ago. It was rad. It's a good game. I think I might be getting rid of my collection for it soon, just because I just don't play it anymore. Really, like it's not that it's not a good game. Love the game, love it a lot. I just don't play it. You know. Okay, so let's talk new stuff, Nick.
New stuff, huh?
I mean, other new stuff, I guess.
Other new stuff.
More new stuff. Always new stuff.
You want to talk about Thousand Suns?
No. Yes.
I was going to say too bad because we're going to talk about some Thousand Suns.
Okay.
So, basically, where should we start? Let's start with.
I don't know. You're the one that has it.
Let's start with the units, right?
I thought you were about to. I legit thought for a second when you opened just the cover
So
that you were about to just start straight reading.
Let's just start
the
with.
lore.
Let's just start with some fluff.
Let's just start by reading fluff.
Let's just look at artwork.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I like art.
Yeah. So, these are just units that I've highlighted out of the book because I think that they'll work well together.
Did you use an actual highlighter?
No.
What? Why not?
You know, I don't have an answer to that. Mostly because I don't have a highlighter.
Something, hundred suns. Love it.
Love it. Love it. So we're going to start off with the first character and the first unit in the book. We're going to start with Armon.
I was hoping I would have a chance to say we're going to start with Aaron A. Aronson.
Nope. That's not his name. His name is Airy Man.
Airy Man.
Airy Man. So he has a base movement of 6 inches, which can be upgraded to 12 inches if you bring him on a Disc of Tzeentch, which I see no reason why you would not do that. Points, yes, but it's not a huge.
I mean, if you don't have
increase.
them, you don't have them.
Right, but if you don't have them, or if you need to shave, I think it's another 20 points off or something like that.
Yeah.
Shave 20 points off. And that's all it does for you is lets you move another 6 inches, and you get to attack with it if you close quarters.
Ari man.
It's also worth noting that if you do bring him on the Disc of Tzeentch, he loses the infantry keyword and gains the demon, cavalry, and fly keywords.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I understand cavalry and fly. It's
Yeah.
weird that it adds demon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Some of his abilities, he's got, Death to the False Emperor. Arch Sorcerer of Tzeentch. You can add 1 to any psychic tests or deny the witch tests you take for Ahriman. Sigil of Corruption. He's got a 4+ invulnerable save. And Lord of the Thousand Suns. You can reroll hit rolls of 1 made for friendly Thousand Suns units
Still not
within
as fun
6
to say
inches
as
of
robot
Ahriman.
gorilla man.
Robo Girly Man.
It's really too bad that I was too lazy to get that bat rep out. Otherwise, people would know the other thing we started calling him.
Oh,
which is even better.
Bobby Boutte.
Bobby, thanks for ruining it.
You just didn't remember.
No, I remembered. I know.
It's okay. There's like, you know.
I mean, gosh, people might watch this later.
But would you think they're gonna watch this before they watch the Bat Rep when it comes out?
I don't know. Maybe.
Anyways, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and he's got a 3+ armor save.
Ew, leadership 9? That's so low.
So low, right?
No, it's not. It's not.
So low. He's also a psyker. It's worth noting that he can attempt to manifest or deny 3 psychic powers each turn. He has access to the Discipline of Change and the Dark Hereticus Discipline.
Cool.
Again, if you bring him on the Disc of Tzeentch and he gains that demon keyword, he also gets access to the Tzeentch powers for Demons of Tzeentch because he's got the demon keyword.
Ah, that's cool.
So
yeah, bring him on the thing.
Bring him on the thing.
Bring him on the thing. And how many psychic powers does he get to know?
3.
3? So you could bring one from each.
You could bring one from each.
You could be like, I want this one, I want warp time, and I want this other one. I don't know enough about psychic powers to pick anyone besides warp time.
Warp time.
Because I'm really jealous of warp time, and I wish I had it.
Warp time's good. We're gonna go over psychic powers too. The ones that I like.
Sweet.
Yeah. Next on the list.
1 second, though. Can we talk about Primarch Jim Bob in Murica colors? I legitimately was thinking about buying another Robuche Gilliman to paint him up like this nightly picture of Stephen Colbert that the Arbiter found.
That'd be awesome.
And yeah, it'd be really great.
So, the next unit I wanted to talk about is the Rubric Marines.
Okay.
I love these dudes.
Do you?
I do. What's weird about them, right, is so they come with an Aspiring Sorcerer. So it's a 10-man squad. Well, nine Rubric Marines, 1 Aspiring Sorcerer.
Okay.
The Aspiring Sorcerer moves just a little faster than the Rubric Marines. He's got a 6-inch movement, and they have a 5-inch movement.
So basically, he has a 5-inch movement.
Basically, he's just gonna move 5 inches. They're both weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+.
1 second. America hat. Convert him with America hat and a Cyber Eagle. I love it.
Both they have the same profiles for the most part. Strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound each. The difference is the Aspiring Sorcerer gets 2 attacks, whereas the Rubric Marines get 1 each.
Right.
They're leadership 7. He's leadership 8.
Okay, so
3+ save for them.
So he's their sergeant, but he's a psyker.
Yep. Again, Death to the False Emperor for their abilities. All is dust, so you add 1 to the saving throws for Rubric Marines. If the attack has a damage characteristic of 1.
That's neat.
In addition, the -1 modifier to hit rolls for moving and shooting with heavy weapons does not apply to Rubric Marines.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What kind of heavy weapons do they have access to?
That is an awesome question. They have the Soul Reaper cannon. It's heavy 4, 24-inch range, strength 5, AP -3, 1 damage.
That's really badass, actually.
It's not too bad.
No, that's super amazing. That's just like a even heavier heavy bolter.
Yeah. See, the other thing that I like is Inferno bolt pistol, Inferno bolt gun, because it's strength 4, AP -2. So like all of their guns have an AP to them.
Yep. Yeah.
They have Favorite of Tzeentch, so they get a 5+ invuln save.
Okay.
Now they also have the Icon of Flame, which at the start of your psychic phase, roll a d6 for each unit with an Icon of Flame. On a roll of 6, inflict 1 mortal wound on the closest enemy unit within 12 inches of the model carrying the Icon of Flame.
That was a thing they've always had, right?
That's a thing they've always had. It's something that you can add to if you play Tzeentch with Chaos Space Marines and things like that.
Okay. And Melina, I'm really sure we're going to get into Zangors.
Zangors are actually going to be next.
Yeah.
We're going to go Zangors, Zangor Shaman, Zangor Enlightened.
Yeah, just all of the Zangors.
But yes, you're right. They are super, super good, and there's some nifty little trickery to go along with them.
Later tonight, I'm going to post, actually, because they look great, I'm going to post on our Facebook a friend of mine, some pictures of my friend's Zangors. Ooh. And you are going to be mad jealous, Nikki B.
I probably am. It's a good thing I'm just gonna buy a bunch.
Okay.
Just a bunch.
Just buy a whole lot. I gotta crack my knee.
If you're gonna play Thousand Suns, get a bunch of Zangors. They're awesome. They're gonna be great.
Rad. Yeah.
They're super rad. Yeah. So the Psyker, they changed this up a little bit. It used to be, that. Where is it? Sorry. He only could no smite. Mm-hmm. Now he gets smite and one other power.
Okay.
But he can only attempt to manifest or deny one power each turn, so you have to choose smite or that other power.
Right.
It's also worth noting that if he does get off smite, it only deals 1 mortal wound instead of D3.
Yeah.
And D3 mortal wounds instead of D6 if you roll above 10.
If you roll 11 or more.
Yeah.
11 or 12.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's I really like the fact they come in a, like I said, 10-man blob, so you get 9 Rupert Marines and the 1 sorcerer.
Yeah.
And they're relatively cheap. I can pull up the points cost right now because I just have the power level. They're power level 7.
Nobody cares about power. Who uses power level?
When I say they're relatively cheap,
Nerd
I mean they're not relatively cheap. They're still the most expensive troops choice at 212 points.
They are a troops choice, huh?
Yeah.
They're a troops choice for...
They're a troops choice for Thousand Suns. They are an elite's choice for Chaos Space Marines.
Makes sense.
Yes. So that's that for them. They've got a bunch of war gear that we could go over, but Zangors. Zangors are great, guys. 6-inch movement, 3+4+ for weapon skill, ballistic skill, 4 strength, 4 toughness, 1 wound each, 1 attack for the Zangor, 2 attacks if they're twist bray, for the twist bray, leadership 6 and leadership 7, and then they have a 6+ save. They also have a 5-up invuln save because of the aura of dark glory.
Ew.
It's worth noting. Yeah. So it contains, each unit contains 1 twist bray and 9 Zangors. It can include up to 10 additional Zangors or up to 20 additional Zangors. Each of these models is armed with Zangor blades.
Yep.
You can swap it out for chainsword auto pistol, although
I mean,
I wouldn't recommend it. The chainsword and the Zangor blades both have the same ability where each time the bearer fights, they make 1 additional attack with it.
Oh, okay.
The difference is the Zangor blades are resolved at AP -1.
Okay.
And the chainsword is not. So it's basically, do you want to be able to shoot and do melee and not have any AP, or would you rather have the AP? For a unit like this that's super melee concentric, I would definitely just stick with the Zangor blades.
Okay.
Vanilla.
All right.
You can also bring them with the Brayhorn, which adds 1 to their advance and charge rolls.
Oh man.
Relic Hunters. Mm-hmm. You can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase for this unit when it's targeting a character. Which is super good.
That's pretty bad.
It's super good, yeah. These guys, combined with a bunch of stuff in the book, psychic powers and whatnot, and different boons that can be given to them, are going to be great. So one thing that's worth noting.
S4T4.
Yep, S4T4. Yes. So they have the keywords Chaos Zinch, Heretic Astartes, Thousand Suns, and then Infantry and Zangor. So it's worth noting that they no longer have the Demon keyword. Because, and I think that the reason for that is some jankiness, where you can summon in demons.
Right.
So you could essentially summon in Zangors, because what happens is, it doesn't happen in the psychic phase, it happens in the movement phase when a character doesn't move.
Right.
So you could have said, alright, I'm going to try to summon in these 4 power level Zangors.
Okay.
Summon in a 10-man blob.
Yep.
On 3 dice, you're probably going to get 4.
Yeah.
Summon them in, and then, oh, it's my psychic phase. Cast Warp Time on them.
Yeah. So, Melina, so Nurgle's thing is still being tough, but typically Nurgle stuff is toughness 5, and will have has Gilno pains, and that's what makes it tough. as opposed to just having toughness 4, because toughness 4 ain't shit.
So next unit we're going to talk about is the Zangor Enlightened.
Right.
And they are actually a lower power level than their other buddies, which, they're power level 3. They have a 12-inch movement because they come on Discs of Tzeentch.
Okay.
You get 3 of them. So, you get 2 Enlightened and 1 Aviarch. Their weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness 4.
Yep.
2 wounds each, 2 attack, 3 attack, leadership 7, leadership 8, 6 up save still.
Yeah.
The big difference with them is, they still have the 5 up invuln. They have the Guided by Fate ability, though, where each time you make a hit roll of a 6+ for a model in this unit, except for its disc blades, for the Disc of Tzeentches.
Yeah.
Discs of Tzeentch. Do not make a wound roll for that attack. It is automatically successful. Saving throws may be attempted against these attacks as normal.
Yeah.
So they changed that again from what it was in the spoilers, because in the spoilers it read as it was going to be an additional wound, but now it's just an automatic wound.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It would have been an additional automatic wound instead of just an automatic wound.
Yeah.
But again, so there's strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage.
Yeah.
The weapon of the damage is increased to 2 damage if they charge.
Okay.
And they can also be, you can also take them with a Fatecaster Greatbow instead of their Divining Spear, or again, Chainsword and Auto Pistols.
Yeah.
The Fatecaster Greatbow has a 24-inch range, Assault 2, Strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage.
And they look really cool.
They do look pretty cool.
Yep.
Other than the Zangor Enlightened, we've got the Zangor Shaman. He is an Elite's choice.
Yep.
Movement 12, again, Disc of Tzeentch.
Yep.
He's armed with a Force Stave, and he's got weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength toughness 4, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8, 6+ save, 5+ invuln. And you add 1 to, he's got the Bestial Prophet, add 1 to any hit rolls you make for friendly Zangor units within 6 inches of the Zangor Shaman. So you're auto-wounding on 5 with the Zangor Elites.
Yeah.
You're hitting on 2s.
You're hitting on 2s.
And it's great.
Yeah.
They're also a Psyker.
Oh, of course.
They know Smite and 1 additional Psychic power.
All right. Do they have any of the, do they have any of the psychic debuffs like the Aspiring Sorcerers do?
They do not.
Okay, so they're just regular Psychic.
They're just regular Psychers.
All right.
They also have the ability to re-roll their first failed Psychic test that you make, but it can only be used once per battle.
Okay. I mean, use it.
Right.
Use it.
Right.
Right.
They're also an Elite's choice that can be taken as your Warlord. I don't know why you would.
I mean, well, so any by the way, any model can be taken as your Warlord.
Right.
But you don't get a Warlord trait unless it's a character.
It's a character.
I probably wouldn't take an Aspiring.
It is a character, by the way.
Yeah. But I wouldn't take a Zangor Shaman as my Warlord. Probably wouldn't, but who knows?
Right.
There's probably some crazy reason to do so.
I could see it if it was like Infinity, where you don't have to tell your opponent who your Warlord is. Have a whole have Ahriman and Magnus, and then just have a lonely Zangor Shaman as your Warlord.
That'd be funny. That's probably going to be a scenario at some point.
Yeah.
If it's not already, I have to look through all of these books.
So their Force Stave is, again, their only melee weapon, and it's their only weapon. Aside from the blades on your Disc of Tzeentch.
Okay.
It is strength +2, so strength 6, AP -1, D3 damage.
Okay.
So like I said, that nice little 12-inch movement is really great, especially for keeping them, moving them along with your Zangor Elite, who also have that.
Yeah.
And then moving your Sorcerer up with him, your Ahriman, if you bring Ahriman, so that this guy's also got that one to reroll hits of 1 and whatnot.
Yeah. Because then you're hitting on 2 re-rolling 1s.
Then you're hitting on 2s re-rolling 1s.
And that's
and that's super great.
That's
isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I call the never miss
So the next unit that I wanted to talk about, and it's the last unit that we're going to talk about real quick, is the Scarab Occult Terminators.
Okay. Well, you go way into detail on that.
Okay. So the Scarab Occult Terminators are, again, they're just like the Rubric Marines, except they come with 4 Terminators and 1 Scarab Occult Sorcerer. So that's a Sorcerer in Terminator armor. They have Weapon Skill, Ballistic Skill 3+, Strength 4, Toughness 4, 2 wounds each, 2 attacks each, 8 and 9 for their leaderships, and a 2-up armor save, just like normal Terminators have. Again, this Sorcerer gets to know Smite as well as one other psychic power, but he's also got that debuff still, where it's 1 wound and D3 mortal wounds. Instead, they have all his dust for abilities, as well as Death of the False Emperor, but all his dust is add 1 to saving throws for Scarab Occult Terminators if the attack has a damage characteristic of 1, same thing as before. Terminator armor, they have a 5+ invuln save, and they have teleport strike, so they have the deep strike ability. They can be brought with a Hellfire missile rack. If the unit contains 10 models, a second Scarab Occult Terminator can also be brought with a Hellfire missile rack. You could also take out a Inferno Combi Bolter for a Heavy Warp Flamer or a Soul Reaper Cannon. If the unit has 10 or more models, you can do that again. Scarab Occult Sorcerer may replace his Inferno Combi Bolter with a Power Sword.
Okay. It's Power Sword.
Yeah. Again, Inferno anything is really great because it's AP -2.
So
the Heavy Warp Flamer, though, is something that I might consider like replacing Inferno Combi Bolter for a Heavy Warp Flamer. Just because it's heavy D6, strength 5, AP -2, auto hitting.
So I think that the Scarab Occult Terminators might be the best Terminators.
I would agree with that.
So
I would definitely agree with that, especially because they could potentially cast Warp Time on themselves.
Yeah, 1 warp time on themselves, making it so that they're not going to.
They have an 8-inch movement at that point.
Yeah, and they don't have that horrible 9-inch charge off of Deep Strike. And also, I just want you to realize all this dust basically makes them immune to anything that's damage 1 and has AP -1. So you have to lob even heavier weaponry at them than normal. This is like plasma gun, like overcharged plasma and melta guns and las cannon territory.
Yeah.
Now for firing at these guys.
Yeah, it's kind of scary now.
Yeah, it's really sick, nasty, man.
Yeah. So it's something that I got to look at. Basically, is it's really unfortunate that the Zangors don't get the demon. However, Zangor Elite have a demon keyword, so you can summon them in and then warp time them.
The Zangor Enlightened?
Yes. So that was one thing that I was going to talk about as a strategy of just basically not having one of your characters move and then summon in a Zangor Enlightened unit.
Right.
And then potentially casting warp time on them.
Right.
Having them move 12 inches or, well, less, you know.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come in somewhere close to an enemy model.
Right.
And then charge that enemy model. And then they get a whole bunch of... just a whole bunch.
Just a whole bunch of nastiness.
Just a whole bunch of nonsense. And again, you can do that with your shaman, too. So if you have 2 characters that didn't move...
Yep.
One summons in the shaman. One summons in the Zangor Enlightened.
Yep.
And then you can only get warp time off on one of them, sadly.
That's...
But they could still be within range of that aura of the shaman, depending on where they're at.
Yeah. I mean, you can
manipulate the situation so that that's what happens.
Yeah. Especially when casting warp time, then you have a whole lot of boom. And things, by the way, on huge bases.
Yeah.
Are really good about picking up auras. So, like, let's say this is an enemy Space Wolf captain, and these are my friendly dudes, and this thing here is going to provide me an aura. It's really easy for me to keep this guy within 6, even if this thing can't move, keep this guy within 6 inches of this, right? While this guy is within 1 inch of this guy, and then this guy is within 1 inch of this guy.
Right.
So, in fact, I may have just done it right now.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Where this guy is...
That's definitely less than 6 inches right there.
Yeah, so, like, but then this thing and this guy is still more than 9 inches away from this thing.
Right.
Right? So now, this guy, through his friend, gets to attack this guy and is still picking up the aura from this piece of terrain.
Yeah.
So those guys are probably on big bases like this. I have never seen them.
Yeah, the Disc of Zinch is like, I want to say it's like a Terminator size base.
Okay, so it's either these are the Terminator bases.
Yeah.
I mean, the Terminator bases, it's a little harder, but still, right? You have warp time.
But you have
so
5 of, or you get 3 of them normally in a squad. You can upgrade it up to 5.
Right.
I think you can go higher than that too, but 5 is...
Yeah, but still, and you can summon them in.
Yeah.
Right, and you're summoning them and probably get rerolls and such.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's also stratagems and psychic powers and things like that where you get to roll 4 dice instead of 3 dice.
So you're probably going to be able to get them in.
So you're automatically going to get them regardless if you roll 4 dice because they're only power level 3.
Yeah.
Or power level 4. Yeah. Sorry. So you roll 4 ones, you're still fine.
You're good. And then hitting them with warp. Warp time gives them their full movement, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so you get to move as if it was in the movement phase.
Okay. Oh, so they could even advance.
They could even advance.
So yeah, no, you have a lot of room to manipulate that.
Yes.
That probably by the... Oh, no. That right there is probably why you see Chaos Space Marines as like the number 4 faction.
Right.
In the game right now. Because they can...
Speedy.
Yeah, well, and in surprising ways, like, oh, well, hey, here's a really fast Slanesh cavalry thing that just popped up. I just did that. I did that. It's there. I cast warp time on it.
Or warp talons.
Or warp talons, right? That's
Drop your warp talons in more than 9 inches away.
Yeah.
Give them their movement. And then, hey, guess what? You don't get to fire Overwatch with these guys. Now I can charge you with something else because you're tied up.
I mean, more likely, they're like, oh, whoa, we got warp time. Time to grab an objective.
Right.
Like, yeah. That's what warp talons sound like, by the way.
Is it?
Yes.
So the next thing I want to talk about is the Sons of Magnus. These are the faction abilities, basically.
Yeah.
If you're battle forged, Psyker units in Thousand Suns detachments gain the Brotherhood of Sorcerers ability. In addition, troops units in Thousand Suns detachments gain the Disciple of Zinch special ability. The Brotherhood of Sorcerers is awesome. You add 6 inches to all of your psychic powers, to the range of all of your psychic powers. So Smite has a 2-foot range now.
Oh, so good.
If you're battle forged.
Yeah, if you're battle.
And you're going to bring a battle forged army, and you're going to have a lot of psychers.
Yeah.
The list that I have for the list of the week for me, I think I have 7 psychers in it.
I have none. I'm not psychers in it.
That'd be dangerous for you then.
It's always
Smite spam.
Yeah.
And then Disciples of Zinch is just objective secured for your troops, basically.
Yeah.
If you guys remember objective secured.
Y'all remember
objective secured.
Yeah.
Next, I want to go over the Warlord traits because it's on the next page. So why not? So number 1 is the Arrogance of Aeons. You re-roll, fail to deny the witch tests you take for your Warlord.
Okay.
Which is super good for certain characters.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. You know, this is basically just like, hey, I want to deny that. Oh, I didn't deny that? I'm going to try to deny that again.
No, stop that.
You don't have to use any command points.
Jaws of the World Wolf? No.
Nope. Nope.
Get out
Just
of here.
Nope.
Stop that.
Nope.
Stop that, y'all Stormcaller. Nobody likes you.
Undying Form is another good one. You reduce all damage suffered by your Warlord by 1 to a minimum of 1. So if it's 2 damage, it's reduced to 1.
I think that's so funny that that's a Warlord trait.
Yeah.
Because Aryak Rockfist just has that.
Well, that's just things and demons getting things from Space Marines, just worse.
I mean...
Sometimes. Aether Stride.
Yeah.
Your Warlord can advance and charge in the same turn and can re-roll failed charge rolls.
He's a wolfen now.
Oh. There's still no wolves unfed.
I mean, fine. You can keep saying it if you like.
I know. I will.
All right.
Lord of Forbidden Lore. Your warlord knows one additional psychic power.
Neat.
This also happens to be Magnus the Red's warlord trait that he gets, so he gets to know 4 psychic powers.
That's a lot.
You can still only manifest 3 each turn.
Still.
Yeah.
Okay, so he
Otherworldly
technically knows 5 psychic powers. So 4 and smite.
Otherworldly presence. Improve your warlord's invulnerable save by 1 to a maximum of 3. This is Ahriman's warlord trait.
Does Armin have all his dust?
He does not have all his dust, I don't think.
That's weird. Is he not dust?
He does not have all his dust.
Okay, that's good.
So, and as far as I know, it is just the Rubric Marines and the Scarab Occult Terminators that have that.
Okay.
I can look later, and I'll let you know. Then you have High Magister, which just add 1 to any psychic tests you take for your warlord. So, you know.
Yeah, so he casts Smite second.
He casts Smite second. Yeah. I really like Undying Form. Basically, I like all of these.
Right.
There's some that I would consider to be more useful than others in certain situations. Like, the thing I don't like about, Magnus already coming with Lord of Forbidden Lore is I would love to give him Ether Stride.
I mean, yeah.
Just so that I can have him advance and charge.
Yeah, that would be too much.
It'd be way too much. It'd be so unfair.
That's exactly why they do that. So,
there's always warp time.
There is always warp time.
There is always warp time.
Oh, no thanks.
So, let's go over some stratagems real quick, and then we'll go into psychic powers.
Oh, okay.
So, we have Sorcerer's Pact. 1 CP.
Yep.
Use the stratagem when a Thousand Suns character attempts to summon a unit of Tzeentch demons using a demonic ritual. You can roll up to 4 dice rather than 3 for the summoning roll, and your character will not suffer any mortal wounds for rolling doubles or triples.
All right. Well, there it is.
So, yeah, you could literally just roll 4 ones and summon the thing you're trying to summon, and not take any mortal wounds for it. Normally, that would be D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
And that would suck.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Cabalistic Focus. 1 CP again. Use the stratagem before attempting to manifest a psychic power with a Thousand Sun Psyker from your army that is within 6 inches of at least 2 other Thousand Sun Psykers. You can add 2 to the psychic tests. Right. So he goes third when casting Smite. After that, you have the Great Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Use this stratagem at the end of your psychic phase. Select a Thousand Sun Psyker from your army. That Psyker can immediately attempt to manifest 1 additional psychic power this turn.
Oh, man.
So you remember how Magnus knows 4 psychic powers in Smite? Yeah. He can cast all 4 of them now.
Yeah. Although, can we talk about Magnus? Full
or
wound.
Ahriman.
Let's talk about Magnus.
Okay.
Full wounds, right? He gets like a +3, right?
It's either a +3 or +4 to his psychic tests. Okay. Yes.
Hauling off and casting Smite first. And using Cabalistic Focus. And how that would be like, excuse me while I just deal D6 mortal wounds to something real quick.
It's +2. Yeah, at full strength, it's +2, then +1. Yep.
Okay, cool. So
it's not super crazy. Yeah. But you could increase that to a +4.
I mean, yeah.
If you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Next up is Fire Frenzy. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase just before a Thousand Suns Hellbrute from your army shoots. If that Hellbrute did not move in its movement phase, it can fire all of its weapons twice. But all of its attacks must target the nearest visible enemy unit.
Huh.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
That is cool. I thought it was neat that they gave Hellbrutes something specific in Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
Also because I really like bringing Hellbrutes in my list.
I didn't know that.
funny. You didn't know that? You had no idea, really? It's
Nope.
funny because my list of the week doesn't have a Hellbrood in it. It did have a Hellbrood in it, and I took it out.
Oh.
Yeah. Next up is Coruscating Beam. This costs 3 command points. Use this stratagem in the shooting phase. If you have a Thousand Suns Warlord that did not move during your movement phase, instead of shooting with your Warlord's weapon, pick 2 points on the battlefield that are 9 inches apart and visible to him, and draw an imaginary straight line 1 millimeter wide between them. Roll a d6.
That got really specific.
Roll a d6 for each unit in the set that. Roll a d6 for each unit that the center of that line passes over, subtracting 1 from the result if the unit being rolled for is a character.
Right.
On a 4+, the unit being rolled for suffers d3 mortal wounds. You can only use the stratagem once per battle. But
What?
so basically what I'm saying is, all right, let's say
Yeah.
like this is part of one unit, this is part of another unit,
Yeah.
and this is part of another unit,
Yeah.
right?
It's just,
And then you go like this.
yeah.
9 inches, boop, boop, boop. Roll 3 dice, and on a 4-up, they take d3 mortal wounds. How great is that?
It's so silly.
I love it.
It's so silly.
I love it so much.
But it's amazing. Like, what is that? What is,
It's
like,
a coruscating beam, man.
yeah, but like, where's it coming from?
Well, here's my answer to that. My answer to that is Magnus.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So it's like Magnus
So
hauling up
well, it's to me it's super feasible with him because he doesn't have any shooting attacks.
Yeah.
So he's not going to shoot. And also if you set it up in a way where he's probably going to charge something that turn anyways.
Yeah.
And you just don't have him move if he's
Yeah.
already close enough. You know what I
Right.
mean? There's
Yeah.
a whole lot to go into it. It's just basically trying to soften something up a little bit more before he gets to it. There's other ways that you can do that with different warlords and things like that. I'm just saying as an...
And did it say as long as it doesn't move in the movement phase?
Yes. That did not move during your movement phase. So you could cast Warp Time and do that, and then go ahead. Yeah. Isn't that great?
That is great, actually.
Super great combos!
No, that's really cool.
Webway Infiltration is the same as it was for Chaos Space Marines. 1 CP, 3 CP, 1 unit or 2 units that you set up for Deep Strike.
Right.
Still love that stratagem.
That's a good one.
Especially for Zangors. So yeah, next up we have, where was it? Inferno Bolts. Use the stratagem before the battle starts. It's 1 CP, by the way. I didn't say that. Select a Thousand Suns vehicle from your army and select a Combi Bolter, Combi Melta, Combi Flamer, or Heavy Bolter, or Twin Heavy Bolter that the model is equipped with.
Okay.
That weapon is upgraded to fire Inferno Bolt rounds. So you change the AP characteristic of that weapon to -2. Only change the bolt gun profile for the combi stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Which I think is awesome for 1 CP.
Yeah.
Giving your vehicles
one vehicle.
One vehicle, yes.
Yeah.
-2 for their AP.
That's cool.
It's cool. The Cycle of Slaughter, we went over in the spoilers. It's 2 CP. Use the stratagem at the end of the fight phase. Select a Zangor unit from your army. That unit can immediately fight an additional time.
Yeah. So there's the possibility that a Zangor unit shows up, like comes piling out of a rhino. Why not? Because why not? Rhinos are great this edition.
Or gets summoned in from summoning.
Yeah.
If it's an enlightened unit.
If it's right. They roll up, get into melee with something. They have all their support, so they're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and then the fight phase ends, and whatever's left of them, which would probably be a lot because they've messed something up.
Again, you could bring a full 30-man unit of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't fit them all 30 of them in a Rhino, obviously, but you know, they're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Then they do it again because hey, we want to say F off, corn berserkers. We're gonna steal your thing for a second.
So, yeah, that's great.
That's so rough.
So the next up for 1 CP is the Vengeance for Prospero. It's fluffy.
It is fluffy.
That's fluffy. Use this stratagem just before a Thousand Suns unit from your army fights in the fight phase. Until the end of the phase, that unit's Death to the False Emperor ability triggers on rolls of 4+ instead of 6+ for units or for attacks that target a Space Wolves unit. So when you really want to squish some swolves,
yeah, it's time.
Bring Zangors.
Yeah.
Use that stratagem.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the fight phase, use the Cycle of Slaughter stratagem.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you wouldn't have to. You already have too many attacks, right?
Right.
Normally.
Yes.
And then Vengeance for Prospero makes it even worse. But, oh my god.
Just on the off chance you didn't kill it the first time.
Yeah.
Or if the thing you're attacking is Bobby Boutte.
Well, he's not a Space Wolf, so.
True.
He's an Ultramarine. That's the thing that actually makes him nasty, is that he's an Ultramarine. He is probably why the Ultramarines are so high up this edition.
Yeah, seriously.
So, you know what I think is really interesting about the design of the game in this case?
Yeah.
Is that...
What's interesting?
The thing that the Space Wolves have done this edition is get targeted by other people's stratagems. Like the Dark Angel stratagem, the Lion and the Wolf, and here we have Vengeance for Prospero. Like, can we get our own, please? Can we?
No, you guys will also never get your codex. Jim Bob the Ultra Wolf.
Yeah, we're never gonna get our codex. We're just gonna get targeted by stratagems, and that's it. That's the game for us.
It's like after all the other codexes have come out, they're like, wait. We missed one? What do you mean we missed one?
What do you mean
Space Wolves didn't get one?
Space Wolves didn't get one?
What are Space Wolves?
I mean...
Guys, come on. We all know there's no wolves on Fenris.
Have you seen all of these stratagems that have their name in it? Obviously.
So...
That's what we get for being way too awesome fluff-wise.
Way too awesome. Next up...
Fluff-wise. We're really average rules-wise this edition.
We're gonna talk about the Sorceress Arcana. Or their relics or artifacts or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. Pick a couple.
Well, there's only 6 of them.
Pick a couple.
So I'm just going to do all 6 of them.
Okay.
I know. First up, we got the Seer's Bane. It's only equipable to a model with Force Sword or Power Sword.
Yeah.
And it replaces that profile. It is Strength user, AP -3, D3 damage. However, the strength of the bearer is doubled when targeting an enemy psyker or units... Enemy psyker units or enemy units that include any models with a leadership characteristic of 9 or higher.
So F-U Grey Knights.
After that, we've got
that is like Grey Knights. F off. Get out of here.
We don't like you anymore.
Get out of here.
We don't like you.
Stop using this warp against us.
Dark Matter Crystal. Which we talked about once per battle at the end of your movement phase. You can select the bearer of a friendly Thousand Suns infantry unit. Within 12 inches of him, remove that model from the battlefield and set it up. Immediately set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is 9 inches from any enemy models. This doesn't account as falling back if the unit was within 1 inch of any enemy models. Which is great.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. Teleports are sweet.
Helm of the Third Eye. I love this one. I'm probably always going to bring at least this one.
Okay.
If your army is battle forged and the wearer is on the battlefield, roll a d6 each time your opponent uses a stratagem. On a 5+, you gain 1 command point. Hooray for command point recursion.
It's good. Command point recursion is really good.
Yep. Core Skater. Model with Infernal Bolt Pistol only. Core Skater replaces the bearer's blah 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 blah. Range 12 inches. It's pistol 3, strength 4, AP -2, D3 damage.
And it replaces a bolt pistol?
And it replaces a Inferno bolt pistol.
Bolt pistol, right.
Yeah, which is
everybody's got those, yeah.
That's pretty good.
No, that's pretty
rad. Athenian Scrolls. This one I love. If you roll a double when making a successful psychic test for the bearer, your opponent cannot attempt to resist that psychic power with a Deny the Witch test or negate it by any means. Note that the psyker will still suffer perils of the warp on a roll of a double 1 or a double 6.
Right.
And if slain by perils of the warp, the psychic power doesn't go off.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, it still automatically fails.
Athenian Scrolls.
Atheneaean.
Yeah, Athenian.
Yeah, Athenian. Next and last is the Prismatic Staff. Model with Force Stave only. The Prismatic Staff replaces the bearer's Force Stave.
Right.
It's Strength +2, AP -1, D3 damage. The bearer can shoot and charge during a turn in which it fell back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And
That's
yes,
really cool.
Space Wolves should get something Spartan. There should be like the Spartan Scrolls, and it just says like F off, Thousand Suns. Thousand Suns players automatically lose the game.
Oh, God. Well, we're both predicting that Lehman Russ is going to be a thing that the Space Wolves get.
It's a lot of scuttlebutt. There are a lot of scuttlebutt says it.
Yeah.
But also a lot of scuttlebutt said Dark Angels were going to get Lionel Johnson, and that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
It actually apparently became like a joke in the Games Workshop offices. Isn't there a Forge World tank that is Spartan and capable of kicking some wizards down a well? Yes. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't know enough about Forge World stuff because I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't.
Screw you, Forge Worlds.
I mean, you're great and whatnot.
No, you're not great.
Like I played a really sweet game against the Arbiter where he brought his pylon.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
Nope.
Fast Forge World.
It is the delete
The
button.
delete button. That's gone.
So, some psychic powers
Yeah.
to talk about. I've only got a few picked out. Don't worry, because there's, a bunch.
There's 18 here.
There's 18 here.
So
we all know what warp time is. Well, we don't all know, but we know what warp time is. It's fucking amazing.
yeah. Oh, you dropped the F-bomb.
I dropped the F-bomb.
Darn it!
Damn!
I didn't get to do it this time.
It has a warp charge value of 6. Pick a Heretic Astartes unit within 3 inches of the Psyker. That unit can immediately move as if it were the movement phase.
Yep.
You cannot use warp time on a unit more than once per psychic phase.
Duh.
Duh. Because you can't cast it more than once per psychic phase.
Yeah, I mean,
Duh.
Duh.
Next up, let's talk about one of the new Tzeentch powers in the Discipline of Change. We're going to talk about temporal manipulation.
Quick thing, real quick though.
Mm-hmm.
Quick thing, real quick.
Yeah, quick thing,
fast.
real quick. Real fast, real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to be
Fast and
redundant. Redundantly. So, Thousand Suns,
Uh-huh.
in their psychic powers section,
Mm-hmm.
have 18 powers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas everyone else has 6. But it must be noted that what Games Workshop has done is they've taken the Dark Hereticus discipline,
Mm-hmm.
the Tzeentch Demon discipline,
Discipline of Tzeentch, yep.
and given Thousand Suns their own discipline as well.
Yeah.
So they've taken two.
It's
things
also worth noting
Mhm.
that only specific models get access to
Yeah.
specific tables. So
Right.
if they're a basic Space Marine or something like that, they get Discipline of Change or Dark Hereticus Discipline to choose from.
Right.
If they are a Demon Sorcerer, they get Discipline of Change and Discipline of Tzeentch. If they are Ahriman of Disc of Tzeentch, they can choose from all 3. If they are Magnus, they can choose from all 3.
Right.
Other than that, that's it.
Yeah. And does the now like warp time here? Does it say Thousand Suns or does it still say like Heretic Astartes? All right, so it didn't even change a lot of the targeting.
No,
like they just literally just
the targeting did not change at all.
Yeah.
But that being said, most of like your troops choices and everything still have the Heretic Astartes.
Right. What happened
keywords
is
and
they
stuff
ended
like
up
that.
changing a lot of the
Right. They just gave things keywords so that it would be useful to them still.
So like dropping demons from Zangors
Right.
and giving them Heretic Astartes
Right.
instead.
Which it's also worth noting that like your Zangor Shaman can't take warp time.
Right.
Be great if it could.
Because he
but
has
can't.
Discipline of Tzeentch
Because he has Discipline of Tzeentch or Discipline of Change.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, temporal manipulation.
Yeah.
Warp charge value of 6.
Uh-huh.
If manifested, select a friendly Thousand Suns model within 12 inches of the Psyker. That
Neat.
model immediately heals D3 wounds.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's nice for things that you're trying to keep alive.
Yeah.
Especially big things.
Look, things that are about like yay tall and have wings.
Things like that. Yeah. Yeah. Things that have damage tables.
Damage tables and are and our las cannon fodder, especially now that they don't reroll ones on their invuln table.
The next thing is Doombolt, which we've gone over before.
It's Smite.
Warp charge value of 9. If manifested, select an enemy unit within 18 inches of the Psyker and visible to him. That unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, and in their following movement phase, they must half their movement characteristic.
Yeah, it's like hard Smite.
And they cannot advance. That's also worth noting. So you can't, you're like, no, that 6-inch movement you had, you can only move 3 inches. Oh, you want to do advance?
Nah. No, you're staying right there.
You're staying right there. Yeah. Zinch's Firestorm. Let's talk about that. Warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select an enemy unit that is within 18 inches of the Psyker and visible to him. Roll 9 dice. The enemy unit suffers a mortal wound for each roll of a 6.
Wait, how many dice is that?
9 dice.
Okay. So can you guess how many are probably going to come up?
Depends who's rolling.
No, that's true.
If it's me, 5.
But anyways, here we've come back around. We're gonna come back around to like the beginning of this conversation where I was talking about 1, how bad I am at rolling dice, and 2, how things never go my way, and 3, how because Games Workshop has had to design around Smite spam, but then they have like Smite spam listed as like a
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So anyways, that's
average.
Basically D3. It's almost like you roll D3 damage.
It's weird how that happens.
That's weird. Anyways, basically they were like, okay, so we kind of pitched Smite spam as like a thing Thousand Suns could really get away with by having all these Psychers, but we're also trying to get rid of Smite spam, so we've had to redesign
Smite spam.
We've had to redesign Smite 3 other times and give it to Thousand Suns.
So there's something I didn't talk about, by the way, in the stratagems area, which is the Boon of Zinch.
Yeah.
It's roll 2d6 and
it's really long.
It's basically you pick a character or it's you can use the stratagem at the end of a fight phase in which a Thousand Suns character, excluding demon characters, slays an enemy character, vehicle, or monster.
Neat.
Roll 2d6 and look up the ability that it gets.
Yeah.
Boon of Mutation has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select a friendly Thousand Suns character, but not a demon character, within 3 inches of the Psyker, and roll 2d6 and consult the table.
Okay.
So it's basically just...
So you can use a psychic power to
you can
use a stratagem.
To use a stratagem.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. What's next that I wanted to talk about? Weaver of Fates.
Neat.
Has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select a friendly Thousand Suns unit within 18 inches. Until the start of your next psychic phase, the invuln save of that unit is improved by 1 to a maximum of 3+. Models that do not have an invuln save gain a 5-up invuln save.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, going back to All Is Dust. So All Is Dust, if it hasn't been eroded yet, set of saving throws.
Yeah.
That includes your invuln saves. Right? But it doesn't actually improve your invuln save.
Well, this improves your invuln save specifically.
Right.
Yeah.
So, let's say you're, I don't know, a Terminator with a 5-up invuln save.
Yeah.
Okay. This thing, you could, wasn't there some other way to improve your invuln save that I missed, that I'm thinking about? Besides All Is Dust?
All Is Dust doesn't improve your invuln save.
No, but it adds 1 to your saves.
Yes.
Thereby basically improving your invuln save.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
So, except in like this weird roundabout Zinchi way.
Yeah. Just imagine if that was still comboed with what Magnus had for his aura originally.
I mean, yeah, that's
why they changed it.
That's why they had to change that.
It was like, oh, what's that? You can get your Terminators up to a 3-up invuln, re-rolling 1s?
Yeah. Ooh. Can't have that. Yeah.
I would just spam Scarab of Call Terminators at that point.
I mean,
just swarm them around Magnus.
Yeah. Although they're really cool anyway, so you should do that. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to spam them because they're still expensive. They do have cool models.
Yeah.
We went over the warp time and whatnot for Discipline of Dark Hereticus Discipline.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 2 from the Discipline of Zinch now.
Cool.
First one up is Gaze of Fate.
Yeah.
It has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, you can re-roll a single dice roll later during your turn.
That's cool.
So it's basically just like, hey, you don't need a command point to re-roll this thing.
Yeah.
Which is great. I like it.
That's funny. That once again is
We're actually gonna do 3 for
it's
this.
that's another psychic power that lets you
use a stratagem.
Use a stratagem. Yeah.
Yep. Next up is Treason of Tzeentch. Has a warp charge value of 8. If manifested, select an enemy character that is within 18 inches of the Psyker and visible to him, excluding the opponent's warlord. Roll 2d6. If the result is greater than the character's leadership, you can treat the model as if it were a friendly model in your army in your shooting, charge, and fight phases. At the end of the fight phase, the character reverts to being an enemy model.
Yeah. That's rough. That's a rough time. That's a really rough time.
Like, let's say Bobby G wasn't your...
I mean, yeah, but he's got, like, leadership bananas.
Wasn't your warlord. Yeah, he does have leadership bananas.
Yeah.
This is true. It'd be really hard to do it. I'm not saying that it would be easy, but it's...
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
And, oh boy, would that be terrible.
Now I've got Bobby G for a turn.
I mean, for the important phases.
Yeah.
Except for movement.
But guess what? Well, he's not a heretic to start. That would be great if it gave him that keyword.
It would be really funny.
Oh, man.
Cypher. Like, oh, you brought Cypher, eh? I'm going to cast this on him. He's mine now.
He's mine now.
Oh, man.
I'm going to cast this on him every turn.
I cast this on him. Now he's got warp time.
Next up is Infernal Gateway. It has a warp charge value of 8. If manifested, identify the nearest enemy model that is within 12 inches of the Psyker and visible to him. That model's unit and every other unit, friend or foe, within 3 inches of that model suffers D3 mortal wounds. Oh, man. The number of mortal wounds inflicted is D6 instead if the power is manifested with a psychic test of 12.
So it's like Mega Smite.
It's like Mega Smite.
It's like this. It's like the spirit spite.
The spirit spite.
The spirit smite. Charging up the spirit bomb. Yeah. 1,000 Suns are cool.
Yeah. So the
They're
next thing I want to do is just go over tactical objectives real quick.
Really?
Yeah. Why not? Because they're actually some cool, fluffy tactical objectives that they get.
All right. Cool. Yeah, give me a couple.
Yeah. So let's go with score 1 victory point if you made a successful deny the witch test during your turn. It's psychic supremacy.
Oh, okay.
Score 1 victory point if at least one enemy unit was destroyed by units from your army during this turn. Score D3 victory points instead if it's at least one Imperium unit was destroyed.
See, this is one of the things. So, this is one of the things I love and hate about tactical objectives. Is that right there? Like, it's so fluffy. It's so fluffy.
So fluffy.
But then, like, match play games, it's like, what the hell? Like.
So this one's kind of fun. There's two. Okay, so score D3 victory points if at least one enemy unit was destroyed by units from your army during the psychic phase of this turn. And then Power of the Cabal. Whilst this tactical objective is active, keep a tally of the number of psychic powers you successfully resolved during the psychic phase each turn. At the end of the first turn in which you successfully resolved at least 2 psychic powers, score 1 victory point for every 2 psychic powers successfully resolved in that turn to a maximum of 6 victory points.
Wow. So it gives you can get 6 victory points from that if you successfully manifest 12 psychic powers. Okay, so that's what you know how
I've got 7 psychers in the list that I have.
Yeah.
It's very possible to do that.
Yeah. So let me just say this though. This is one of those times where the game doesn't understand itself. And if you haul off and you successfully cast 12 psychic powers in a turn, you've probably just won the game. And you don't need the 6 victory points. Like, it's like the domination one where it's like, hey, you get like D6 plus 800 victory points if you have all the tactical objectives at the end of the turn. It's like, wait, if I have all of the tactical objectives,
if I have all the objectives at the end of the turn, don't I just win?
Haven't I already won the game?
Like,
do I really need to win harder?
do I? Come on, guys. Come on.
Oh,
do you want to start going over your
Yeah, we'll go. We
list
will.
of the week?
Yeah, let's wrap this up with lists of the week. I'll start with mine while you handle your business. And yeah, so when I was talking to my little brother earlier today and earlier this week, I talk about this a lot, right? I talk about deep strike and how I just can never seem to get it right. Things always seem to go poorly when I deep strike things. So this list here, and you know, he pointed something out to me when I was talking to Rennie about it, and he pointed out that maybe that the thing is you really use deep strike to poke, to put a lot of pressure and destroy your opponent where they're already weak, right? And I have been kind of doing something different, right? I've been kind of just taking deep strike units, right? Taking my like really, really strong units, deep striking them, and then like trying to use them to like jab the hell out of something really strong, right? And that's kind of not been super working for me.
You made a 2,000 point list too.
I did make a 2,000 point list, yes.
Cool beans.
All right. So this list here, it has in it a little bit of deep strike, but like the point of the deep strike is really to provide support, because so you know Rennie plays Astra Militarum, the winningest faction in the game. At this point, right? But not by much, right? It's a spread of 3 events at this point.
Having played Rennie, though, it's not that surprising.
I mean, he's also just really good.
He is really good.
So, the thing about this, right, is that I think possibly there's also some measure of the units themselves here, right? Like what units you do this with, right? So, you know, Astra Militarum can do this with Tempestus Scions, right? Tempestus Scions, they hit on 3s. They can catch an order that lets them reroll 1s, right? So they drop in, they catch this order from their commander, they hit on 3s, reroll 1s. If they're battle forged and in their own detachment, then if you're in half range of their weapons, guess what? You're in half range of their weapons. On a 6-up, they get to attack again. Once again, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, right? Well, in this case, I'm actually thinking about the thing that is the hotshot volley gun. They would actually be hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s.
Right.
But, you know, rerolling 1s and then, you know, getting another, like, 1/6 of those. Because, so, like, they hit half the time, and then half of the misses, or, excuse me, 1/3 of the misses they reroll, and then that gets hit another half, and then out of all of those hits, 1/6 of those give you more hits, right? That they reroll 1s on, and it's nasty, right? It's super nasty. It really tears things up.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry. So, so Space Wolves, right? Because I'm playing Space Wolves all the time. You'll probably get some other lists of the week, at least out of me, as I think and experiment about things. We don't really get that, right? We don't get that sort of thing. Now, we can have some really powerful deep strikes, as you will find here. But the idea I have here is more to shore up some weaknesses, right? And I'll even tell you kind of about the battle plan once we get to it. All right, so first things first, it's just a battalion detachment of Space Wolves. That's it. Nothing fancy, right? And in the HQ slots, I have a Wolfguard Battle Leader on Thunderwolf. He just has his normal bolt pistol and chainsword. Okay. Then a Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf, right? The Wolf Lord on the Thunderwolf has a Thunder Hammer, and bolt pistol, right? So these two are they're mostly there to provide auras, mostly, and you know, be good in a fight. They're gonna fight. And the Wolf Lord is the Warlord. He's got Saga of the Warrior Born, so he fights first in melee. So you know, he's got a big hefty weapon. When he swings it, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. If he's near his little buddy, right? This thing is freaking strength 8, AP -3, damage 3, and then he's going to wound and then reroll ones to wound if he's near that Wolfguard battle leader on the Thunderwolf.
Right.
Rad times, right?
Super rad.
Then a thing I normally don't bring, the Wolf Priest. Yeah, just a regular old Wolf Priest. And we'll get back to him later. Anyways, then in the troops, we have a unit of Blood Claws. Oh, another thing I did with this, by the way, is I brought, like, big squads. Because,
it's probably a good idea.
and you just, it's technically a bad idea.
Against my list, it's probably a good idea.
I mean, sure.
How big of squads?
I mean, they're like 10-man squads.
Oh, okay. So that's the same, roughly, as what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but, like, it's technically a bad idea because, like, a unit of 5.
Right.
Each unit of 5, if you have them as split up, if they get hit with smite, these wounds can't carry over to this unit. Right. But
that's if you have them split up.
Right. But here I have them as one big unit, so then the smites and stuff can carry over. But I don't think it's that big a deal. I say, and then somebody in the comments is going to be like, Lester, you're an idiot. That is a huge deal. Smite spam's a big, bad thing. That's why Games Workshop has to
No, it's not a big, bad thing.
Anyway, so I have this unit of Blood Claws, right? They mostly have... So it's a 10-man unit of Blood Claws. Except at the top, they have a Wolfguard Pack Leader. Wolfguard Pack Leader has a pair of Wolf Claws. One of the Blood Claws has a plasma pistol, and that's that. It's really simple.
Yep.
And they have, they're bolt pistols and chainswords. Except for the one with the plasma pistol, who has a plasma pistol and a chainsword. Right? Then a 10-man unit of Grey Hunters. They also have a Wolfguard Pack Leader. Their Wolfguard Pack Leader has a Storm Bolter. And then the unit is packing a plasma gun and a melta gun. And then I bought their chainswords because chainswords are free. It's so silly. Like, it's so silly that they're like, you have to buy their chainswords. Yeah. Well, how much are they? Free. Yeah, but you can't. They don't just come with them.
They don't just come with them.
They don't. You better make sure they're on your list. Silly.
So silly.
Yeah. Then a 10-man intercessor squad because I never get to bring that.
Didn't you say something about how much you just disliked them?
Intercessors?
Yeah.
No. I don't like inceptors.
Ah, that's what it is. They sound similar.
Yeah, they do sound way too similar. So the Primaris troop choice, not the Primaris fax attack choice.
Right.
I really like the troops choice.
Yeah.
Because they're cool. And they have just their regular bolt rifles. 30 inches, rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP -1, 1 damage. Really cool. They're really cool guns. And then they also have an auxiliary grenade launcher. Well, they have 2. I put 2 in this list, or in this squad, because 1, they're each 1 point, and 2, they let you fire off a grenade up to 30 inches, where normally they're like 6 inches.
Yeah.
Right? So go ahead and fire off a crack grenade or a frag grenade if you want.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's really rad. Then we get to the elites. And in the elite slot, I have a unit of Wolfen. Now, I never bring Wolfen. Finally, a unit of Wolfen. I mean, you showed me that one bat rep, and I was like, oh my god, Wolfen.
They're the answer.
They're not the answer.
They're the answer.
I mean, I won't say they're the answer.
The answer.
They're really good, but I won't say they're the answer.
Ooh, that's different.
Well, I mean,
you say they're really good.
They're really good. No, so it's a thing. The thing is, I've acknowledged that they're good forever, right? And they have a great aura. They have 2 great auras actually that end up becoming 1 aura. They have Death Frenzy, right? So like if you kill them in the fight phase, they'll fight you again, and then die, right? They have a 5-up Feel No Pain, right? 2 wounds. Their regular dudes have 3 attacks each, right? They're so nasty, and they're so fast. They're really nasty, and
7 inch.
Yeah, 7 inches, and they can advance and charge. So. Right, there's a lot to like about Wolfen. I really mostly just don't like their models. I just don't like that.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't like their models.
I actually do. I actually do like their models.
I actually wish they were wolfier.
That makes sense.
Right? I don't like this sort of like weird, not quite a Wolfman thing they've got going.
You want like a Ariadna kind of deal.
Yeah, I want like an Ariadne. I want like straight up the Wolfman.
Yeah.
For my Wolfen.
Just paint a beard on them.
I mean, they have beards, but I mean I want them to have like wolf snouts. I want them to be werewolves. Right. That's what I want. And I've said it before to at least Arbiter, but I'm probably actually going to straight up get some like Circle Orboros werewolf dude models from War Machine and use those to shore up my Wolfen, so I have like a... Yeah.
You would.
I would, right? Because I don't play competitively, so who cares? As long as the base sizes are right? Anyways, so this is a unit of 7 Wolfen. Okay? The Wolfen pack leader, he has Frost Claws because he has to. And then 3 of them have Frost Claws. Then 2 have a Great Frost Axe, and then 1 has a Thunderhammer and Storm Shield. Right?
Right.
Cool.
That Storm Shield's going to come in real handy.
I mean, yeah, the dudes have one of the reasons I'm not super keen on them, they have a 4-up save normally.
Yeah.
And that's rough.
Yeah.
That's a rough time.
And the Storm Shield improves it to a 3-up?
3-up invuln.
3-up invuln.
As opposed to a 4-up regular.
Right. So 3-up invuln, 5-up feel no pain.
Yeah. So,
and you can just choose to be like, this guy's going to take the wounds.
Yeah.
So then you just roll the damage for him.
Yeah.
And then if he dies, you have to carry it over and whatnot. But that's still like...
Yeah. He's gonna be there a while.
Yeah.
And then a full 10-man unit of Hellblasters.
Get out of here with your Hellblasters.
I love them. They're so good.
There's just...
And there's a big, huge reason why I take 10 of them.
Yeah. What's the big, huge reason?
I will tell you after I'm done talking about the dedicated transports.
No!
Alright, so the dedicated transports, 1 drop pod, 2 rhinos, and a repulsor. Yeah. So I got a repulsor this week, and I'm so excited about it. I'm building it now. I ran out of glue last night, and I really should have gotten more glue and should have been assembling it as we speak.
You know what's funny is I also should have bought glue yesterday.
We're terrible. Anyways, I'm so excited about it. So anyways, this repulsor has for weapons a Crackstorm grenade launcher, a Las Talon, Onslaught Gatling cannon, like 3 storm bolters. Right? Yeah, 3 storm bolters and a twin las cannon.
Yeah.
Rad. Okay. Rad. Oh, and the auto launchers. Yeah, I bought the auto launchers.
You bought the auto launchers?
Yeah, because they're free.
Get on up out of here with your auto launchers.
Yeah. So anyways, here's how this list works. Okay? I deploy the rhino, or one of the rhinos with the Grey Hunters inside, one of the rhinos with the Blood Claws inside.
Yeah.
The repulsor with the intercessors inside.
Yeah.
Then the drop pod. Oh, and then the 2 Thunderwolves are just hanging out, right? Being fast.
I'm guessing there's a stratagem that's going to be used for them.
No.
No?
No, not for the Thunderwolves. But for the Hellblasters. For the Hellblasters, I use the Cunning of the Wolf stratagem, right? They deep strike.
Yeah.
They're off the table. Drop pod, it's holding the Wolf Priest and the Wolfen.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And here's where it gets nasty, right? So, the rhino with the blood claws and the repulsor are buddies, right? They're friends.
No.
They're frames.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
Along with the Thunderwolves.
Yeah.
And the rhino with the Grey Hunters kind of just rolls around looking for objectives to snag.
No, he does not.
And then if things get bad, the Grey Hunters hop out and, get to business, right? They don't need the Grey Hunters don't need a lot of support where the Blood Claws do, right? And then if it's time when it comes time to remove something, right? Like straight get rid of it. Maybe a couple things that simultaneously, because opportunity comes more than once in a lifetime.
This guy.
Yeah. The drop pod drops.
Yep.
Lets out the Wolfen and the Wolf Priest.
Yep.
Okay. And the Blood Claws hop out.
Yeah.
Right? So the Wolfen's aura extends from 6 inches to 12 inches if it's going to Blood Claws. Okay. So then the Blood Claws, they fire off their pistols. Pew, 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 pew. The plasma pistol guy overcharges because he's probably near the Wolf Lord, so he's going to reroll 1s.
Right.
So whatever, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s, bang, bang, bang. He's probably going to miss both shots because, I don't know. Or he's going to miss his one shot because you're only rolling 1 die. It's a plasma pistol. And that's how that works. And then comes the charge inning, right? So the Wolfen will charge into their target and probably just mess it right up.
Yeah.
The Wolf Priest also tries to charge into there because he has a rad aura that's really good for them. Excuse me. Also, they kind of need his leadership. Their base is leadership 7.
Yeah.
So he's really there to make sure that they don't like go running off into the distance once a couple of them die.
What's his leadership?
His leadership is 9. Yeah, he's leadership 9, and they use his leadership.
Yeah.
Also, the cool thing about Wolf Priests is that they are like this weird mix of chaplain and apothecary. So if like a Wolfen goes into my movement phase with a wound off of him, he'll get healed.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now they're 2 wounds each, so like if one gets like las cannoned, it's dead. But like whatever. If a bunch of bolters get fired into them, right? The Wolfen are tough to kill, right? They're right? They're they're toughness 4, right? But like bolters get fired off into them. They have 4-up save followed by a 5-up feel no pain. You might get like 1 wound on him, and then like he's like my arm, and then Wolf Priest is like slaps some healing balms.
Here's a band-aid.
It's literally called healing balms.
It's a band-aid.
It's a band-aid. He literally slaps a band-aid on it, and I need to get like little tiny band-aids to put all over my Wolfen, and it'll be really funny. At least to me.
The tiniest of band-aids.
Yeah, but he also makes it so that the Wolfen reroll misses. I'm not sure if it's all misses or...
That would be scary.
Yeah, all failed hit rolls in the fight phase for friendly Space Wolves, right? So he's there just making them so dangerous, right? So they charge in, they do that. And then, if I've planned this correctly, right? Oh, and they reroll the charges. So even though they came in on a deep strike, they have a pretty good chance of getting that hard 9-inch charge in.
For sure.
Right. At least for somebody who can roll statistically average, unlike me. So like, did it. Right? There it is. You just hauled off and rolled an 11 right here. That's really funny. You and your loaded dice.
They're not loaded, man. They're not loaded.
So
I bought them from our local game store.
that's why. I mean, I went and I did the same thing.
I know.
Because they make loaded dice.
They make loaded dice. They're just the greatest of dice.
They're pretty good. So I mean,
see, not loaded.
Yeah, not loaded there. But then, and there, see, on the reroll, you would have made the charge, right?
Yeah.
So like, so they make it in, and if I planned this correctly, they're within 12 inches. They're now after charging within 12 inches of the Blood Claws, right? Blood Claws are going to charge their target, but they came out of a Rhino, so they're going to be closer. They don't really have to worry about the whole re-rolling a charge, which means because they won't have to re-roll the charge on their target, they get to use that aura where they get an extra attack from the Wolfen, right? So here's the Blood Claws, right? There is 10 of these dudes, right? 2 of them have 2 attacks base, right? So, and the rest of them have 1 attack base. The guys who have 1 attack base get an extra 1 from charging because they're Blood Claws, and that's just how they work. Then they get an extra 1 from the Chainsword because that's just how Chainswords work. And then they get an extra 1 from the Wolfen. Okay. So, then the one with the Wolf Claws, right? He gets 1 extra for charging, right? So he's 2 base. He gets 1 extra for charging. 1 extra from having wolf claws, or having a pair of wolf claws, and then 1 extra from the wolfen. So he's hitting you 5. He's hitting 5 times, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Strength 5, AP -2, damage 1, rerolling failed wounds. Oh, also, if the Wolfguard battle leader is still alive at this point, which he's likely will, he's a character and has had a lot of buffer zone because they've been traveling around with 2 transports.
Yep.
He is going to be. He will make the rest of them, the ones that don't have wolf claws, reroll wounds of 1. Right. Now I didn't do the exact math on this, but it's a bananas number of attacks. Right? Like it's a ludicrous number of attacks that's coming that way.
Oh man.
Right?
Yeah. That is a lot.
Yeah. And then they're gonna be like rerolling 1s because freaking the rerolling 1s to hit because of the Wolf Lord there.
Yeah.
Just tearing it up. Murdering something in melee, right? Really rad. Okay. Now, the thing about this as well though is if you the repulsor's also rolling around with that unit, right? Just like with that little Death Star, just rolling around, going just like
blopping things.
Yeah, like I have these Las Talon. The Las Talon is such a weird thing.
Yeah.
And what I like about the Las Talon is it's another Las Cannon, right? Actually, I think it's it's another twin Las Cannon, right? But at 24 inches. Also, the fact that it's named something else. So unlike the Land Raider, where because it has 2 twin las cannons, you have to fire both twin las cannons at a thing. Yeah. Every time. So they're just like, beep! That thing's effing dead, right? The Las Talon.
You wanted to.
I did, but you already dropped it. We gotta go. We get 1. So
you can get 2.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
Okay. I mean, we probably 6. You know what?
Let's roll a d6 for it. We get 5.
We get 5. Okay. So, but this with the Las Talon, it can target something else. So it can go. You get 2 las cannons, and you get 2 las cannons. Yeah. As long as one of them is within 24 inches, but things happen. You can make it happen. Also, because the Wolf Lord and the Wolfguard Battle Leader are there, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, wounding on probably 3s, rerolling 1s. So it's just there going, that's dead. Those 2 are dead. And then messing up some infantry. All right. But I kind of left as far as I'm thinking, I kind of left the Rhino filled with Grey Hunters kind of on its own.
Yep.
So if they get in trouble, right, either they'll have to fight their own way out of it.
Right.
Or the Hellblasters come in and just clean up whatever mess there was.
Oh, man. That's pretty solid.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid plan.
Solid plan for a solid list.
Yeah, so because my thinking is instead of using... Because, it's harder... Astra Militarum units can get so many dudes in with the Deep Strike. Yeah. Right? And they have all of these supporting rules for it, like I was talking about with the Tempestuous Scions, who, by the way, I love the idea. And I actually I think I want to run, or I want to plan out a list that kind of uses the Space Wolves as an anvil, and then the Scions are the hammer. Ah. Right, where the Scions are deep striking in and just tearing something up in the back line, while the Space Wolves are rolling around being tough. I understand that's kind of like not how the fluff of the thing works, right? Like the fluff says the Astra Militarum are the anvil and the Space Marine chapters in general are the hammer. Right. But I do what I want because a pirate is free. But anyways, right? Seems like a pretty solid list.
That is a solid list.
I think my big problem here is my biggest problem here is I don't really have a lot of heavy weaponry. Mm-hmm.
I didn't bring any.
Yeah, I mean you've from what you've said, you have like 7 psychers. So that's basically heavy weaponry. So that's it. That's my list of the week. When when I get around to it, I'm going to make a system for being able to post the list of the week in the description. So if you're watching this after I've figured that out, click the link below, and you'll be able to actually just take a look at our lists of the week.
Maybe we can also just post them to Facebook too.
We can also do that, yes.
So, my list of the week is Thousand Suns.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? There is one thing I did with this. I used a thing so I could carry an extra relic.
Okay, use a stratagem.
Yep.
Yep.
So let's go into it. I just have a standard, battalion detachment. I updated Battle Scribe and it did a weird thing, so it put like my heavy support and troops first.
The orders.
Yeah. So for HQs, I've got 3 HQs.
Yep.
Ahriman on Disc of Tzeentch.
Okay.
I brought him just vanilla. The psychic powers that I gave him were the Glamour of Tzeentch, Smite, Temporal Manipulation, and Tzeentch's Firestorm.
Okay.
Again, this is something that I didn't know about the whole rule, so there's a few things that I might have to change.
Right.
Next up is the Exalted Sorcerer on Disc of Tzeentch. I brought him with Doombolt, Smite, and Tzeentch's Firestorm.
Cool.
Again, just a 12-inch movement. His aura is the same as Ahriman's aura, where it's reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Thousand Suns units.
Cool.
And then I brought an additional Exalted Sorcerer on Disc of Tzeentch.
Okay.
With Glamour of Tzeentch, Smite, and Tzeentch's Firestorm for his psychic powers.
Yeah.
For troops choices, I brought one full 10-man squad, or not full, but one 10-man squad of Rubric Marines with the Sorcerer. Sorcerer's got Smite. He doesn't get the additional one. That's just the Scarab Occult Terminator.
Yeah.
Sorcerer that gets one. But yeah, so he's got Smite. They came with their Inferno Bolt guns, Inferno Bolt pistol, and Force Stave I brought on the Aspiring Sorcerer.
Cool.
Then we've got 2 10-man squads of Zangors with the Brayhorn, which gives them adds 1 to their advance and charge rolls.
I mean,
yeah. And then they've got Zangor blades. So just vanilla there. For elites, we've got the Scarab Occult Terminators.
Yeah.
Smite and Tzeentch's Firestorm, which I probably changed Tzeentch's Firestorm to something else there.
Yeah.
Because, again, I already have it. I brought them all with Inferno Combi Bolters, and I brought the Sorcerer with a Hellfire Missile Rack.
Nasty.
Yeah. 24-inch range, heavy 2, 8, strength 8, AP minus 2, D3 damage.
Yeah.
2 Zangor Shamans. Just vanilla with them. Smite, Glamour of Tzeentch. Smite, Glamour of Tzeentch.
Oh, is this a brigade?
This is a battalion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fast attack.
Yeah.
2 squads of 5 Zangor Enlightened.
Neat.
Because there was 80 points for 2 5-man squads of them. Both of them I gave the Divining Spears to. I thought about bringing one of them with the Fate Caster Great Bow.
Yeah.
But then I decided against it.
Going real melee heavy.
Yeah, it's a really melee heavy list, and I wanted them to be able to get in. What I'd probably do, honestly, is hold them off for a summon.
Yeah.
And then I might spend another couple of command points to hold off the other squad of Zangors to Deep Strike.
Yeah.
And then for my Warlord, I brought Magnus.
Okay.
I gave him the Treason of Tzeentch, Smite, Glamour of Tzeentch, and Tzeentch's Firestorm.
Okay, so did you bring what is it, an auxiliary?
Super heavy auxiliary detachment. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. For him. Brought him as my Warlord. And then for the relics, let's see if it's going to tell me where did I bring those. I brought them on my sorcerers, exalted sorcerers.
Yeah.
Helm of the Third Eye, so I get the command point recursion with one of them.
Right.
And then the other one I gave.
Interesting. I like how the Ultramarines command point recursion is on them using a stratagem. And I like how the Tzeentch, the Thousand Suns one, is on your opponent using a stratagem.
So like
a game of a game between the Ultramarines and the Thousand Suns. It's like every time the Ultramarines use a stratagem, everyone gets command points.
Then the other one I brought was the Dark Matter Crystal. Just
yeah, haul off and teleport something.
get some of the way.
Boop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. So it's basically just I brought a list that, you know, it's everything's got, well, mostly everything except for the actual Zangors themselves. They have
like a psyker support guy.
They've got the 6-inch movement, I want to say. Oh, sorry. Heavy support. I brought a Mutalith Vortex Beast.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. We didn't go over those in what we talked about here, but we did in the last this weekend Thousand Suns for the spoilers.
Go check that out.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it already, check it out.
Pretty good.
So the Zangors with their 6-inch movement, and then the shaman. So basically, what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring one shaman for the group of Zangor Enlightened,
right?
The 2 groups of Zangor Enlightened, and then one shaman for the 2 groups of Zangors.
Okay.
So basically, I'd have one move with them, one move with the other ones, and then they just all have that aura.
Yeah.
And then if I keep them close enough together, you know, have that aura double, essentially, stack on itself to a 4-up.
So the thing I would probably have done, instead of being like, this shaman is for these 2 units of Enlightened, and this shaman is for these 2 units of Zangors, I would consider them like, I would go, this is a unit, like this, we have 1 unit of Enlightened, 1 unit of Zangors, and the shaman. And that's a team. Right. And then you have the teams separated like that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
That makes sense too. But yeah, I mean, basically what I wanted to do is just build a list where you've got the Zangors that are going to get all up in your face really fast.
Yep.
And again, let's see, hang on.
So hilariously, I actually think the thing that this list needs is rhinos.
2, 3, and if it was like something like 2,500 points, then
definitely a couple rhinos in there.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 8 sorcerers, and then the Mutalith Vortex Beast, which is the kind of sorcerer thing.
Right. It just has these powers that it does, as opposed to psychics. Right?
Yes. Yeah. But they're similar to some of the psychic abilities and whatnot. But yeah. That's pretty much my whole list. It's very melee heavy.
It is really melee heavy.
It is really, really melee heavy. It's like a lot of melee and a lot of just mind bullets.
Yes. I actually think it's interesting, the idea kind of where you're like, F the shooting phase. F it. We do psychic. I think
so that's why I brought, one of the reasons why I brought the Rubric Marines and the Scarab Occult Terminators
is to get some shooting in there.
And then, so I took out the Hellbrute because I wound up having 2,070 points when I had the Hellbrute in.
Right.
It was 2,070 points with a Hellbrute and then 2 3-man squads of Zangor Enlightened.
Yeah. So
I was like, it's not terrible, but I can get it down to 2,000 points. So I just took the Hellbrute out and bumped them up to 5-man squads.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems so in theme to just shoe shooting, or to just be like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
What is it? Well, it's just such a far less elegant weapon. An uncivilized weapon for an uncivilized time. That was it. So I could see a Zangor picking up a bolt gun and be like, ka 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 ka. How uncivilized. By the way, Obi-Wan Kenobi sucks at his job.
You gotta go and just piss off all the nerds now.
Bring it. At me. At me, nerds. And Eminem. If you think I've forgotten our beef, Eminem.
Oh, man. Why, dude? Just why? Why do you like this?
There's no such thing as bad publicity. That's why I'm like this.
That's fair enough. Kanye West figured that out.
Yeah. So anyways, we went over a lot of stuff, man.
We did cover a whole ton of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
How long have we been doing this for?
About 2 hours, 13 minutes, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. So, we'll kill it here. We'll have to do another video on Codex predictions for Necron's Talon Orcs.
Yep.
Because, I don't know, that seems like a cooler idea, and we can like take notes and not just do it off the top of our heads.
Right.
And yeah, so that's it for us. That's it for this weekend. Mm-hmm. We've been Lester and Nick, and so if you like
this wasn't planned either.
This wasn't.
Superman,
The Superman
Batman
thing not planned. We're just nerds.
We're just nerds, and it just happened.
And now it's time for the radical.
Now it's time for radical. Say something.
Radical. Say something, radical. Say something radical, radical.
Yeah.
Nice. I dig it. It's super radical.
So that's it for us.
I have mind controls.
This has been Your Mom's Basement. Like it if you do, comment if you want, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, have a good night. That's when you should hit stop streaming.